First thing that we're going to look at is yet another pike fishing drop back alarm. Now, the same guy that made the rod for me also makes these really smart drop back bite indicators. They're called Broadsman 360, and I was showing Alex before we started recording the podcast how they work. We don't want that. So, Colin's a pike angler himself, so he's designed these, so he uses them all the time. Now, what it is, you can have it set like a normal drop back alarm, whereby you have the head set under the reel, and when you get overrun, it will pull out of the clip, the internal clip, or it will drop back, which sets off the alarm as such. The nice thing about it is you can tilt the head, so if you're on a bank and you've got 2 or 3 rods on the same sorts of alarms, rather than you can't see the light go off because the bank's in the way, you might sit level with the rods, so you can see which alarms set off that way. One of the really cool things though is that if I rotate the arm by 180 degrees, it changes the sensitivity. So you won't, over a podcast, it's going to be quite hard to explain. Alex is videoing me while I'm doing this, so if you look at the YouTube channel, we'll put up sections of this podcast as well. But let me just try and explain what I'm doing. I've got the drop back set up as normal, but if you raise the head slightly,
boom,
sets the alarm off. Yeah, so as I was explaining to Alex before we came on air, so to speak, you could use this on a
Are all pike anglers deaf as well?
Alex, no, because I don't like this part of the alarm, but I'll tell you how I use it in a minute. So what you would do with this, you'd have it set so the head is literally just below the trigger point.
Yeah.
So it raises. Well, that's
really sensitive, isn't it?
So if it just pulls up and doesn't pull out the clip, it sets it off. If you get a normal drop back as normal, it will set the alarm off. Now, this is even cooler because Colin will customise these for people. So this one hasn't got a volume switch, but he will put one in.
Right.
You can take out that little rubber grommet to make it louder. But what I do, I always ask him to make me ones with I think they're 3.5mm jack socket. And in that I put I think they're called TXI adapters. So you put in a little electrical adapter in there.
They're the Gardner ones, are they?
That's it. Yeah, the Gardner ones. And I have a receiver. So actually when it sets it off, there's no audible sound at all, but it sets off the receiver that I have in my pocket, and I normally just have it on really low volume on vibrate, and you can just feel it vibrating. So it's perfect, because I hate the sound of alarms going off and just feel the vibration in your pocket. And also if you're kind of a guest in somewhere, no one knows you've got to run apart from yourself. So this is a really cool bit of kit. It's the 360. I'm still using this in different situations because I think you can do all sorts of things, and in a really hard running drain you could have this on the front rod rest and have your rod up really high and have all sorts of different conditions that it would cope with. But I'm having a play with it, and I'm going to do a full review probably about a month or so's time once I've had time to get my head around it. But really good bit of kit, and like I said, Colin can customise it to each customer's requirements, really, with different colours, volume control. You don't need to have the jack in it if you don't want to. And last thing, I forgot something I must mention. He's even got a guy that can do really snazzy heads. Right. So they've had them designed like fish heads, and if you want to be a complete and utter tackle tart, you can have that done as well. But I just like it white so it shows up. But that is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Right, Alex, we're going to go on to... You've got loads of floats. But what we're going to do, before we go on to that, I'm just going to adjust the mic.